Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday, it's hump day. It's hump day. And today I'm wearing the Stronger Than You Think shirt because it is Self-Care Wednesday. I have something I want to read for Self-Care Wednesday, but let's start with the rituals, self-care rituals deck. Oops. Just toss those right onto my desk. So anyways, let's shuffle. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far. It's midweek, right? You're at the hump in the week. So hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day. So let's get rolling. Ooh, there's one. I always try to shoot for at least 5, right? But if we don't get them, then I do one more shuffle. And then I do one more shuffle, and then we'll just split the deck in half and go from the top. So I have something really good I want to share today for Self-Care Wednesday. Now, it's not really a self-care tip. These are more the self-care tips than anything, but it really kind of hit me between the eyes yesterday. So I want to pass it on. But anyways, let's start with the self-care rituals. Connect with the moon. Interestingly enough, we have a new moon coming on Friday. A new moon is the manifesting moon. Because, excuse me, I don't know what happened there, but it's a manifesting moon, because the moon is going from dark to full, right? So you're manifesting, whereas the full moon is kind of a waning moon. So you're releasing, it's letting go of that light and it's releasing everything. So if you're into that, connect with the moon. Even if you're not, just go outside and take a bit of a gander at it. Maybe not the new moon because it'll be kind of hard to see. But when the full moon is out, just really kind of try to connect with it. I know people think it's silly, but remember, the full moon, it controls the tides of the ocean too. So it's a pretty powerful being up there. So beauty ritual. Whatever your beauty ritual is, whether you're a man or a woman, maybe you have some kind of routine that you like to do. Don't be ashamed. Okay, I know men that were just kind of like, oh, you get manicures and pedicures, but I know one person, my father, who actually enjoys the pedicure. So, and my cousins made him go. I could never get him to go, but my cousins managed to get him to go, and he's like, no, I actually liked it. So it's not just for women, guys, and it's not a girly thing. It's actually kind of it's a hygiene thing, one, but it's also something enjoyable, just to be pampered, right? Just to sit there and just relax. Who doesn't like sticking their feet in that little massage pool? So anyways, your beauty rituals. So that's one good self tip. Sound healing. Now I know these are seemingly, 2 of these cards so far, the first one and this one, are leaning a little more into like the spirituality, the metaphysical, but whatever your beliefs are, don't write it off right away. Don't write the suggestions off right away. You can find all kinds of sound healing on YouTube. You just, Google binaural beats, BINAURAL, binaural. So, 2 ears and oral. Not oral like O, but oral is an AURAL. And, brains run on frequencies. When you have people attaching stuff to your heart or your head, like maybe you're having like like a MRI or a CAT scan, they let off frequencies. So, and it's those frequencies that kind of mix together that tell you, hey, what's going on in there? Your brain waves, right? So that measures your brain waves. But that's what sound healing does. It touches those brain waves, and it can actually help. It can help soothe. Think about it. If you love music, right? Say you love music, and I'm gonna go into my own experience where I would listen to a lot of loud music when I was feeling kind of off or just having a bad day. And the one thing I noticed I would always zero in on were the drum beats. And for some reason that just always really kind of helped. Good morning, baby sibling. Good morning, older sibling. And I see a third person on, but I don't know who it is. So good morning to whoever is on. that I can't see. But what's interesting is that this is what sound healing does. And a lot of times they will use crystal bowls and people might do the, oh God, but you know what? Like I said, give it a chance. Before you judge it, give it a chance. As my mother would say, don't knock until you've tried it. Okay. Connect with earth. Boy, a lot of these are coming up today. Connect with earth. So I'm actually going to be outdoors today, and I'm thinking I may go barefoot for a part of it, because I will be in a little grassy area. So yeah, connect with earth. And again, that may not be something that you feel that you need. It may not be something that you find, it may be something you find hokey, but it's not. Ever think about when you're kids, right? And you're just laying in the grass, or your feet are in the grass. And even if you have to go back to those days where life felt so simple, just remember that with that feeling underneath you, whether you're laying in the grass, laying in the sand, digging your feet into the sand, or just, you know, rubbing your feet against the grass or the earth and the dirt, whatever it is, just connect. Get back to nature. Get back to one with nature. Okay. And number 5, hydrate. All right. The world is fucking hot right now. All right. Doesn't seem like there's a cool place on the planet. So make sure to drink your water, please, or you're going to get headaches and you're going to have a lot of adverse effects, which suck. Trust me, I know. I dehydrate very, very easily. I'm a very warm-blooded person, so heat and I are not the best of friends, and so I have to consistently hydrate, or I get sick. So, a little side tip of the Shelley Marie variety. But yeah, so hydrate, connect with earth, do some sound healing. You know, just give it a shot. If you're at work and you have access to the internet, just go onto YouTube and maybe if you can, play it in the background, and you will find that a lot of times it can really, really help you focus. It can help you, you know, just kind of be calm, be patient, be mellow. And believe it or not, I find that when you put in sound healing or binaural beats, it comes up with different types of things like trust or love or luck or manifestation. So there's all different kinds that you can listen to. It's not just one particular thing. Okay, there's different frequencies out there. Your beauty ritual, you know, whatever that is and however it makes you feel, and connect with the moon. And again, this Saturday is a new moon, so that should be exciting. Should be exciting. So, all right, let's get to our self-care lesson for today. Oh, I forgot. It's Wednesday. I said it already, but I will repeat it again for baby sibling. Happy hump day! Hump day, hump day, hump day. So anyways, today is SelfCare Wednesday. We have done lessons 1 and 2 of self-love, and tomorrow we'll be back at it. But I saw this yesterday on Twitter. My friend Jody posted it on her account. I think her handle is starting a new 13. I don't know. I know people by their names, okay? And half the time I don't really check their handles because, you know, it's so much time has gone by, you just know the people. But this really kind of hit me between the eyes. And it's really kind of something that I was talking about last week that we were going over when we feel like maybe we're left behind, or maybe we feel like we're not where we want to be, or that, you know, why is this person in a certain place in their life? Why can't I find this like someone else has found? Why, right? 5 billion whys. Now, when we do the self-love and I ask you to really kind of dig deep on the questions, and when you come up with your answer, ask why is that your answer? To me, there's 2 different kinds of whys. There's the why that wants to go deeper, but there's a why that's constantly impatient and questioning everything. And so I thought yesterday, I'm like, what am I going to talk about today for self-care? Because I try to come up with different things. I mean, I do the self-care tips because I figure those are good and it gives people an idea, but self-care goes so much deeper than the sound healing, than the beauty rituals, or connecting with nature and the moon, or, you know, hydrating, or whatever it is that, you know, are to me, when I say superficial forms of self-care, I don't mean that they're not important. They are very, very important. But sometimes self-care needs to go deeper. Those are just the surface things that we can do for ourselves, but that doesn't mean it's going to change our mindset. That doesn't mean that it's going to make us feel better after that moment is gone. You know, after you've been pampered, after a massage or a mani-pedi, or after the binaural beats or sound healing is over, or after you've done your beauty ritual, you're like, what next? But that's why I like to go deeper into self-care, because self-care really kind of is a companion to self-love. And, you know, these kind of mixing together for the next couple of weeks, or the next, actually, I think about a month and a half, are going to be very important together. So this one, I will post this in the comments on Facebook, because I have the actual meme that it came from. But as you can see, it's pretty long. And like I said, I read it and then I wrote it down, and I was like, wow. So I have to say, I kind of tapped into my guides on this one, because a lot of times I hold back, because like I said, the whole self-love journey that we're on together, we're on it together. It's not just me talking to you from my perspective or sharing things that I've been through in my life. It is me learning this self-love right along with you, which again is why I wore the Stronger Than You Think shirt, because I want people to know that even when you feel like you're at your weakest, you are probably at your strongest, because you're still here, you're still surviving, you're still finding ways to push through to get to the other side of however it is you're feeling. And that takes strength. And we may not think so. We may be sitting in bed crying our eyes out. Maybe we're throwing our own little pity party, our own little tantrums, and nobody else can see us, and thinking, why? You know, just having our own little meltdowns. But to pull ourselves out of that, we forget how much strength that takes. We forget how much strength it takes to show that emotions, to have those feelings, to let go of that anger, to throw those tantrums so we can get it out of us. You know, I mean, if sometimes you have people there that will help you through it. You'll have people that will talk you through it. And sometimes we don't. But it takes strength to reach out as well. And I think sometimes we also forget that. So if you are feeling like you're at your lowest, but you were also in the back of your head trying to think, how am I going to get through this? It's because the strong part of you is telling you, you will. You will find the other side of whatever it is you're feeling in that moment. That doesn't mean the feeling won't come back, but you know what? The next time, because you were able to really kind of express how you were feeling, it's very possible that the next time it comes back, it won't be as bad. Because you have that strength, and you know, hey, I've been through this before. I've gotten myself through this before. I can do it again, but I have to let myself feel my feelings. You got to feel it to heal it, right? You got to go through it to grow through it. So here we go. This is from Shada Noir. And again, my friend Jody posted this on Twitter yesterday or the day before. And I just, again, it hit me between the eyes. I'm going to read it and I'm going to share my thoughts on it. And like I said, I really kind of reached out to my guides for this one to help me be as open as possible when I discuss this. So if you feel like you're running out of time, read this. All right, so I'm going to read it for you this time. If you feel like you're running out of time, you're not. This is just the story you've been sold, and it has become the shadow that lingers over everything we do, leaving us questioning why it didn't happen sooner or last longer. But there isn't a designated time in life for anything, and although it's hard not to, your timeline shouldn't be compared to the person standing next to you. Just because the timing was right for them doesn't mean it would be right for you. There is enough happiness, love, and opportunity to go around, no matter when it happens. Your life shouldn't feel like a race because it isn't one. Where there are fast days, there should be slow days that follow. Days where you can reflect and recalibrate, because everything you are going through right now is preparing you for the next chapter. Every challenge directly informing the decisions that you're about to make for yourself. Being present will show you what is worth taking with you along the way as you navigate life, because the destination won't bring you peace unless you let the journey teach you who you are. And just how, let me try that again. because I kind of got stuck on let the journey teach you who you are, and just how much capacity you have to experience change, both within yourself and in the world. You aren't running out of time, so don't be afraid to slow down. Things fall into place when we create space for them to do so. Okay, so things fall into place when we create for them space to do so. Now, I know I kind of tripped over the end there, but I like this for a bazillion different reasons. I am literally sliding feet first into the next decade of my life. And I kept thinking, I think I even mentioned it last week in one of the perspectives, how I felt like, I kind of shy away sometimes from, saying how old I am or talking about how old I am, because I feel like if I put it out there, it's like I've let out a secret. But anybody who's smart and can follow me on any social media, you're going to figure out my age. I mean, it's right there in my handle, on one of my handles. So, and it's really not to give anything away or to be shy about it, because I never used to be. But as I've gotten older and, your body changes and there's certain things that you probably cannot do anymore that a 20 or 30-year-old would do, like procreate. It's a possibility. I mean, like I said, TMI, but it's still a possibility in my life. But we put so much judgment on our age that what are we holding back on? When I was in my 20s, I thought I was getting old. When I was in my 30s, I thought I was getting old. When I reached my 40s, I thought, wow, I'm probably feeling the best I ever have in my life. But as I head towards 50, all I can think of is I feel like I'm about to start living the rest of my life. Like the first 49 years were just a test, or just the running that course, right? Running that marathon of your life, trying to get to the finish line to see what happens next. Climbing over obstacles, jumping over obstacles, tripping over obstacles, but hurdling them nonetheless, even if you have to run and start all over and figure it out. And it doesn't have to be that way. I always thought, what if I had started healing earlier? What if I had found self-love and self-care and self-worth and self-respect earlier? Where would I be now? I don't know. But what's interesting is when I started thinking about this and I started thinking about my age, I started thinking, you know what? I don't care. Whoever gets me in life, whoever ends up with me in life, whether it's a friendship, a partnership, new family, whatever, I really think that they're going to be fortunate, just as I will, to whoever I run into in my life, whoever comes into my life, on any level, in any type of relationship. Because I don't want to be afraid of age anymore. I am 137 days, I think, give or take a day, away from being 50. And I was so nervous about that. And when I sat down and I thought about it, I thought, why am I so afraid of 50? My father always tells me, celebrate the 0 years, because you never know if you're going to make it to the next decade. My mom went very quietly into her 60s, and she never left them. She died when she was 66 years old. And I kept thinking, wow, what am I going to do for my parents' 50th anniversary? What am I going to do for, my mom's 70th or my dad's 70th? And, my dad made it. And my dad is actually really good at throwing himself birthday parties. I know. The guy knows how to throw a party. I can tell you that. But then as I got closer and the more single I started to feel, I started putting the worth of age in the wrong basket. We should celebrate every year. I knew somebody who could not fathom the thought of being 50. And it hurts me to think about it. I'm not going to name names. If you know them, you know who they are. But there was somebody I knew that could not fathom being 50. They thought it was old. And a lot of that was from one of their parents being very, I hate to say it, but vain. And this person I knew was not very close with one particular parent, and there always seemed to be like some kind of competition between them. Not from my friend's standpoint, but from that particular parent. And when a few of us were finally able to convince them that it's not that bad, it's not a death sentence, it's not the end of the world, and they started to turn their mind around, it was already too late. They were already so sick and already dying. And I think about them now because they're missing out on watching their nieces and nephews grow, a couple of which were born after they passed. And, you know, it's one of these people I miss daily. And what was interesting is when I mentioned it to somebody else that, you know, they had passed away, one of the first things was, I can't believe they're gone. And then the second thought was, how weird, because they always said they didn't want to live to be 50. And as I began to think about that a little bit more, just recently, I thought, if people are going to judge me on my age, then they don't need to be in my life. Because I'm no different than the person I was yesterday. But I'm a hell of a lot different than the person I was 9 years ago. 9 years ago, before my mother passed away, I embarked on a journey that I thought, I want my 40s to be the year, you know, I thought 40 was going to be the year when I got better. And it seemed to go okay. You know, I mean, I'm one of these people that likes to go out of one decade with a bang and enter the next decade running. You know, I mean, I was kind of living it up when I was 39, and then when I hit 40, it's like, yeah, you know, let's do this. And I didn't want to be afraid of it, and I wasn't. But I thought that my 40s would bring me a lot more than it did. I thought maybe I would be in a relationship by now. I thought maybe I'd be able to squeeze out a kid or two. And life had a whole different path for me. And I don't know where the next decade is going to bring me. But what I learned is that sometimes, what is it? While we're busy making plans. Oh God, what is that saying? Okay, older sibling or baby sibling. If you're still on, somebody remind me what the other one is. But, you know, I don't want to be so busy making plans that I miss life. And I feel like I was so stubborn in my 40s that because I couldn't let go of what my plans were supposed to be, it took me so much longer to heal everything that I healed. So when I say that I'm not much different than the person yesterday, I grew yesterday. I learned some things about myself while journaling last night. And I know one of the things I have to let go of is worrying. That's kind of been my things. Oh, life happens when we're busy making other plans. Thank you, older sibling. Life happens when we're busy making other plans. And I was so busy making other plans that life was happening around me and I wasn't appreciating it. I wasn't enjoying it. You know, and, you know, then I lost my mom. And then Sissy passed away, and another friend passed away, and then my cousin-in-law passed away, and just all these different things. And it's just, you know, you start to think, and with each person that was gone, you keep thinking, well, I really need to live my life because then tomorrow's not guaranteed. You know, tomorrow, my health, nobody's health is guaranteed. You could be the healthiest person in the world and die tomorrow. We don't know. And so I would have to say that over the last 9.5 years, my biggest takeaway is to stop making plans and just let life happen. Yeah, there are going to be things that you have to plan for. You know, I mean, there are going to be things in life where you do have to make plans for, but to stop telling my future how it needs to unfold, because my future knows exactly what needs to unfold. I have a really great idea in my head that I may or may not share down the road. If you know me and you want to ask me, that's fine. But I know that for women especially, heading into your 50s, even your 40s, it feels sometimes like a death sentence because we get treated so differently. You know, I was reading an article not too long ago, and I was scrolling through the internet because I couldn't sleep, and there was an article, and this one woman, you know, they had pictures taken of her by the paparazzi and blah blah blah, and they're all, you know, she's so brave to let her hair go gray. And I thought, as I was reading that, I thought, why is it when men go gray, they're distinguished, but when women go gray, they're brave? Yeah, I have no words for that either. Why? Why is there such a double standard? And then as I read along in the article, she said the exact same thing. Well, not the exact same thing, not word for word, but that was basically like, well, what's the big deal? You know, I mean, here's the thing. I've been graying, like I mentioned, since I was 18, but I've been really graying since I was between 25 and 30. And the more stressed I get, you know, I mean, my hair is getting older. I'm not getting older, but our hair changes. For me, it's hereditary. It's from my father's side of the family. They gray young. My mother was 66 years old when she passed away, but before she got sick, she only literally grayed at her temples. It was like some weird Doctor Strange thing going on there. But the rest of her hair was black. She never dyed her hair. Older sibling doesn't dye her hair. Blonde. Blonde, blonde, blonde. But it's hereditary for me. So you may notice my hair might be lighter up here, but that's because I figured, you know what? Screw it. I am going to do what I've always wanted to do, but I never could do because I've always had dark hair. I am just going to keep dyeing all the hair that grows out a nice little shade of violet. And I'm going to keep it going until my whole head is violet. Now, the back side of my head, because it's stupid, is just black. Or blackish brown. It doesn't gray very much back there, but I deal with it as it comes. But I know I'm going in a lot of different directions with this. But I'm really trying to speak from the heart here. And the only reason I really tapped into my guides this morning was because I knew that if I tried to freewheel this on my own, I would not have mentioned my age. I would not have mentioned where I was at. I probably wouldn't have said half the things I said. But instead of us being afraid of the next decade, embrace it. Because you never know who won't make it. You know, this year, my cousin-in-law would have been 40. I believe he would have been 40. And I think, God, you know, when I was 39, here I was, you know, I'm going to hockey games left and right, just, you know, taking some days off before my birthday, just really trying. I mean, I was going to hockey games anyways, but I was just trying to get all these different games in because I was just trying to have fun, you know. On my 39th birthday, older sibling was able to get us seats in the lower bowl at Staples Center, well, what was Staples Center. And it was just, it's not that, you know, we couldn't ever sit down there, but it was just something different because our seats were upstairs. And we had great seats upstairs in both arenas, but the point is, it was just kind of living it up for a moment, you know, and I have a lot of things that I really want to do as I near 50. You know, because I want to slide into 50 and just be like a baseball player, right? You just slide into base and poof. I don't know how they do that. The law of physics, you know, they just know how to shift themselves right into standing position. It's almost like the ground is just lifting them up into that standing position. And that's what I want. I don't want to be afraid of my age anymore. You know, whoever's meant for me out there in the world, like I said, in any type of relationship, they're going to just want to be around me because of me. You know, the age might freak them out for a second, or maybe it won't. I don't know. But we're so trained to think that certain ages, that certain thought patterns are the right patterns when they're not. This is not the 1820s. This is not the 1920s. We're in the 2020s, 2022. And we can be whoever the hell we want at whatever age we want to be. And a lot of people who are older than me have figured this out already. But a lot of us who have that low self-esteem, a lot of those of us who are trying to build that self-love, build that self-care, we forget about that. And we panic. Whatever is meant for you in life is going to happen. And thank you, baby sibling. I just saw that, your response. Yeah. Brian would have been 40 this year. And, you know, he's very well missed. And, you know, I see all the people that I lost before their next big birthdays. Even my friend that passed away, she passed away 2 years before she would have been 50. And all I can think is that, again, I've been putting all my belief systems in all the wrong places. Good morning, Debbie. I've been putting all my belief systems in all the wrong places. You know, it's easy for people who are coupled to say, well, you're not old, you'll find somebody. But when you're someone like me who is single and closing in on 50, you start thinking, well, will I find somebody? Will they think I'm too old? Because again, that's what we're sold on. That's what we're told to believe. That's what we're trained to believe. You know, and I refuse to live by those rules anymore. Like I said, whoever's meant for me in life, it'll happen. And if it doesn't, whoever the next person is in line that's meant for me, that'll happen. Because they're not going to care. You know, I have a friend who, you know, turned, well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Let me put it this way. I have a friend that turned a certain age and started dating someone about 12 years younger than them. And they're already talking about picking up and moving to where this person is. And their first concern was, what if they think I'm too old? What if they find out how old I am? And that other person didn't care. Because they saw their vibe, and they saw they mixed, and they saw they matched. Their vibes matched. Their souls just knew each other. And it was perfect. We have to stop guiding our lives based on the age that we are. Age should not have limitations. I mean, when we're young, obviously. But I mean, once you're an adult, we should stop putting limitations on age. When I was in my 20s, I thought I would be married. When I was in my 20s, I thought that by the age I'm at now, I'd have a kid in college. That did not work out. Actually, my kid, with the way I was thinking in my 20s, my kid would have been out of college by now, or at least one of them. But like I said, life had other plans for me. And I could choose to go back and say, well, that didn't work out. Or I can sit here and I can be honest with you and say, you know what? It may not have worked out, but this is. Whatever this live is that I do every day, Monday through Friday, this is working out. Because I know it's helping people. And I know that there's going to be people my age who are going to watch this and go, hey, that's true. You know? Because people will always say, oh, well, maybe you can't have your own kid, but you can adopt, or you can do this and that. There are people in their 20s and 30s that aren't able to have kids. Even in their early 40s. And maybe they planned on that. Maybe that's what their dream was. But life had other plans for us. And whatever the plan is for my life now, I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm going to stop overthinking it. I'm going to just start going with the flow. Truly, truly going with the flow. I always talk about it, and I do it for a couple of days, and then I just fall off the go with the flow wagon. And then the wagon backs over me. And you're just kind of sitting there like, oh my God, what is happening? But it's because I was focusing so much on not falling off that wagon that I fell off. Have you ever noticed that? When the more you try not to do something, the more it seems to happen. That's why you have to flip the narrative. You know, go beyond other people's fears and limitations, right? What is this that I read to everybody? Oops, lost my bookmark. told you, I read this every morning. I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. You are always going to find somebody who is going to be afraid of something. You are always going to come across somebody who thinks something can't be done. You are always going to come across someone who thinks that, 50's old and why would you want to do this, that, or the other because it's pointless and you're too old. But I'm here to tell you, you're not, and fuck them. Okay? People will try to drag you down. And those people don't mean to, but they do it because they're afraid. They're scared. They don't know how to live beyond other people's fears and limitations. They don't know how to live beyond the patterns that maybe they grew up with. But I know sometimes I could tell that there was this part of my mom that really kind of focused too much on age. But I will say this, when she retired, and she lived, my mom retired at 60, and for the next 6 years, she did so much stuff. I mean, she was busier than I was, and she was retired. In fact, when she passed away, my father and I found out how many clubs she actually belonged to. She belonged to the church ladies group. She belonged to the Philam group, the Filipino American women's group. She belonged to another group. I can't remember what they were called, but it was like, holy cow, who are all these people? Where did they come from? And all of them had something nice to say about her. They came up to us after her funeral and it's like, oh, your mother was so nice. She was so sweet. She was so much fun. She was so much this. I had no idea she was doing all this stuff. It was just like, who is this woman? But, she didn't talk about it. She didn't brag about it. She just, I do have my groups. They had what we called the Golden Girls, which is some of my aunties. And some of them have since passed away. And, and one of them moved to Florida. But, they would go out and do stuff. When they went on long drives, they'd take Dad, or, every so often they'd invite Dad out to lunch. And because it was the ladies, right? And Dad's like, but they would go and have fun. They would go out and do stuff. She lived. And I want to take that good side of both of my parents. My father, he's very aware of how old he is, but he's also very aware of the fact that he is still so capable, still so in his head, and I mean, he's in the second half of his 70s. Okay. I was born a little late. Okay. My parents took about 5.5 years to have me, but that's 5.5 years that they did not have my presence and wonderfulness around. I'm kidding. But yeah, it took them a while to have me, so I'm a little behind. But I really, really want people to focus on that. Don't worry about the timing of the person next to you. Your self-care and this whole thing that I've been talking about today, you're probably thinking, but this doesn't feel like self-care, but it is. It's this self-care. It's about letting go of the limitations that do not fit us. Just because it fits somebody else and they try to push it on us, or they try to teach us that, or maybe they raise us that way, doesn't mean that it fits who we are. We're growing. We're building new cycles. You don't need to keep running on someone else's hamster wheel. Run on your own hamster wheel. Create your own cycle. I feel like there's a lot of cycles I broke with a lot of decisions I made. Some were very, very hard. Some were heartbreaking. And some I just literally were able to heal in the last few years. Choices that I made when I was very young. But I feel like I broke certain cycles. I feel like I've broken mindset cycles. I have talked about this in the past, about my dinged up mental health, my depression, and how my mom didn't know how to deal with it because she had people in her family that had severe depression, and one of them didn't end very well. And I think that scared her for me because I am an only child. I mean, older sibling and baby sibling are my best friend and my cousin, but the point is, I know how to deal with it. And I know that when people come to me and they need to talk, that they know I'm going to be honest and they know I'm going to help them. but they also know I'm going to listen, because I've learned that on my journey. I've learned how to just shut the hell up and let somebody talk, because I can't fix anybody. I tried to. I kept trying to fix people until I fixed myself. And once I fixed myself, I realized I can't fix other people, but I can be there for them. I can hold their hand, I can hug them, I can do whatever they need me to do as they figure out their path, as they figure out their journey, as they figure out where they're heading in life, what their marathon is, what their obstacles are. You know, if they need me to help push them over an obstacle, I will be there. But I don't try to offer anything anymore except my presence, my compassion, my empathy, unless I'm asked, what would you do? Or what do you think I should do? And you know, what do I think somebody should do is not a question I will answer anymore. I will just tell them, what do you think you should do? Let's run some ideas back and forth. See which one fits. Because only the person that you're listening to, that you're trying to help, knows what's best for them. And like I said, I've had to learn a lot of these lessons the hard way. I have had to climb some serious mountains, and I'm standing on the mountaintop now. And the view up here is pretty nice, because slowly but surely I'm removing all of these ingrained stigmas from who I am, because I don't want to follow those anymore. 50 is not a death sentence. Certain people in the world, when they turn 50, it's this grand thing. But for the regular people out in the world, we are held to a much different standard. And I don't mean to separate, but even older sibling and I were talking about this the other day, and I said, did you ever notice that certain people over here, they turn 50 and it's like, oh, she's 50 and fabulous, blah, blah, blah. But the rest of us over here are kind of like, oh, you're 50? Now, I'm not saying that the people over here are treated differently by their people. They're looked at like, wow, by the people who are over here looking at everybody else around them turning 50 going, oh, okay. Let's break that stigma. Let's stop making people worry about their age, whether you're a man or a woman. Just stop. I know that sounds harsh, and I know you're probably going like, screw you, why should I just stop and listen to you? You don't have to listen to me, but I'm going to keep saying stop, and I'm going to keep saying stop for one reason. Because age is just a number. Instead of worrying about turning 50, I'm going to be grateful for the last 47 years that have been gifted to me, because I had heart surgery when I was 3. And I had heart surgery in the 70s where, you know, technology, like I said last week, is not the same as it is now. I had a 50-50 chance of living. So instead of me looking at 50 as being some kind of, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Or will anybody like me? Will anybody love me? Will anybody fall in love with me? Will people want to hang around me because I'm older? It doesn't matter. Just be yourself. The right people will come into your life and they will adore you, because they will be attracted to your authentic vibe. They will want to be around you, and you will want to be around them because of their vibe. And as Debbie just reiterated that I just said, age is just a number. If you're single, ladies or men, don't worry about it. I kind of point out the ladies more because men don't seem to have a problem with finding people younger. But some women do, because they're held to a different standard. We really truly are held to a different standard. So if you're a man and you're watching this, don't look at a woman's age. Look at her heart. Look at what she brings to the table. Because in the long run, that's what you're aiming for. If you're aiming for something long term, that's what you're aiming for. What this person brings to the table. And there are choices. But make the right one. Don't not want somebody because of their age. Maybe you don't click. Maybe you don't mesh. That's a reason. But if it's because of age, you might be missing something very spectacular. And down the road, you're going to be like, wow, what did I do? What did I give up? When I was in my 20s, I had some mutual friends of people that I had dated who treated me very, very poorly. And I did get feedback on one of them. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm making a point. Now, granted, this is in my 20s, but my friend relayed back to me that they said that they were very, very sorry for the way they treated me because they've never found anybody like me since then. Because when I love with all my heart. And I do my best to give with all my heart. And that's all anybody, man or woman, however, whatever pronoun you identify with, that's what the majority of us in life do. Some of us are damaged. Some of us might be a little broken. And someone along the way may help us pull ourselves back together. Or you might be like me where you have to figure it out on your own because that's your path. I used to think, how come this person and that person get someone to help them through their shit? But I had people. I had the love of my family and friends. You know, I have an older sibling who she's been like a tour guide of my life. I mean, I feel bad for her. I'm like that person in the tour group that has questions that, you know, is just constantly being annoying. But they're patient. I have baby sibling who has been there the last night and this morning answering questions for me because I'm just like, can I ask you another question? Because you know what? Guidance comes from everywhere. You know, older siblings older than me, obviously, baby siblings younger than me, but I get good guidance from both of them. I do. And a lot of times it's just guidance that I already know, but I need validated because I don't trust myself. And that is where the biggest self-care tip is going to come in right now as I finish up. You have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to believe in yourself. To me, in my perspective, trusting and believing in yourself is the biggest form of self-care and self-love that you will ever give yourself. Aside from loving yourself, obviously, because self-love. But when it comes to self-care, trusting and believing in yourself is the biggest self-care tip that you could give yourself. Because it helps you make the right decisions. It helps you down the journey. It helps you on the path. It took me 9 years from start to finish to get where I wanted to be today. And I'm sure that I'm still growing. I'm just, like I said, just last night I was learning new things about myself. Like, oh my God, there's a habit I have to get rid of. But if we keep going forward, if we keep moving forward, if we stop comparing ourselves to everybody else, if we stop looking for the answers, you know, after they've been given to us, you're not always going to get the answer you want to hear, but you're going to get the answer you need to hear. That's the biggest distinction. You may not get the answer you want to hear, but you're going to get the answer you need to hear. And when you are secure enough in yourself and you trust yourself and you believe in yourself enough, the answer you need to hear, even if it's hard, is going to click in your head and go, oh, right. I need to work on that. I need to heal that. I need to find a way to understand that more. Because it's the hard way. And it doesn't have to be that hard. You know, it can go right along with the term, get comfortable being uncomfortable. But guess what? There's a lot of times in life when we've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable, and that uncomfortable feeling turns into a feeling of comfort because you've embraced it. And you understand it, and you know what needs to be done. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day today. Again, happy hump day for baby sibling. Take care of yourselves. Please, you know, really kind of push into that self-care. Like I said, I will share what I wrote on here in the comments. And if you are on YouTube, I can't figure out how to put it in the comments there, but I will put it on Twitter, okay, underneath the perspectives. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. I will be back here tomorrow with lesson number 6 of self-love. Tomorrow's a good one, and if you kind of think about it, I might actually tie tomorrow into today's talk. So 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time under Shelly Marie Lucas on Facebook Live. All lives are public. Anybody can watch, or you can catch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. All right, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart so much for listening. I know I went a little rambly, but like I said, I had to tap into my guides for this one because I just wanted to be as honest as possible. And a lot of times when I go tripping over my words, it's because I'm not ready to hear what my heart may be trying to tell me. So this is one of those things where it literally is, I may not get the answer I want, but I'll get the answer I need. All right. I hope you have a great day too, Debbie Hall. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.